All right, we're live. Welcome to episode 55 of the CosCast. I am your woohoo. I am your host, Pixiedust Cosplay, and with me I have my two lovely co-hosts.
Annabella Cosplay.
And Enyassia Cosplay.
And also along with us today we have a very special guest, the Friendly Viking.
Hello.
Hello, welcome very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to be here.
We're really excited to have you on the show. And we'll be talking mainly about cosplay and leatherwork today, which we're looking very much forward to.
Thank you.
But before we get to our what?
I'm looking forward to talking about it. I have everything set out next to me with lots of tools and stuff.
Man with a plan. We like it. Okay, but before we get to our main theme, we'll go into one of our regular segments, which is cosplay progress. So have any of you worked on anything cosplay related this week?
No. Still not feeling well, so I haven't had the time or energy.
No, it's pretty shameful. I haven't done much either. I've been working on my link pants, trying to find a clever way to close them without having to add a zipper or buttons. So.
Well, I'm using a stretchy thingy.
Yeah, elastic band.
Yes.
Yeah, I need that too. I just haven't got it at home. So I'll need to buy that soon. But I am working on a project. I'm in the process of bleaching my hair, so that's why it looks kind of ratchet right now.
Cool. What color are you thinking of?
I'm gonna go silver gray when I'm done. So it needs to be platinum blonde first, but I'm going to leave it dark on the top because I can't be bothered to bleach my roots all the time. So it's pretty platinum blonde in the back, but I just need to get the pieces in front too and get rid of some of the green. So it'll be good. How about you, Friendly Viking? Have you made anything?
Well, yeah. I actually haven't been doing anything else for the last 2 months.
Impressive.
Yeah, I'm in my final stretch for my bachelor's degree. I'm going to be an arts and crafts teacher, and so my last project is a cosplay project. So I'm doing cosplay of a character that I grew up in from a comic book called ElfQuest.
Oh, I love ElfQuest. Who are you doing?
Yeah. I'm going to be Bearclaw, the father of the protagonist.
Oh, he's so cool.
So the last thing that I did was I made this.
Oh my god!
Which is, for those of you who don't know, it's the sword of the main character, and this, like the sheath is in leather, very special type of leather, and then this, which may look like metal, but is not, is just wood that I've shaped, and in the pommel, it's actually removable into a
Yes!
key. So there you go.
You totally made the key thing! That is so cool!
I struggled for a long time making the key thing.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's just waiting. And I have a photo shoot tomorrow with Okami.
Oh, cool. She's so talented. She's such a great photographer.
Yeah, she is.
I think Pixiedust just died a little bit because she loves
Yes, I love it so much. It was when I was a kid, it was like my crack. With ElfQuest.
Yeah, no, for the last 2 months I've been like reading up on all the old stuff and like collecting sources from different places and trying to get in touch with the Wendy Peeney, the one that's actually drawn the thing.
Yeah.
She's way too busy to bother with me, but hey, I tried.
Yeah, she's like a industry legend. I can't blame her for being busy.
No, I think she's actually doing the final stretch of the last chapter that she's going to write for ElfQuest.
Yeah, the final quest or something. I think.
Yeah, I think it's chapter 15 that she's writing right now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the final quest. I'm not going to read it until it's done because I will flip my shit if I come to the end and then there's just nothing more and I have to wait for a long time.
That would
Burned
suck.
myself on that a lot of times, so I'm not gonna do it with this.
And no, I mean it's been ages since I actually read through the series, and I don't have all the comics, so I'm just going to have to buy everything in one big fell swoop, I think.
Yeah.
Just binge.
There are two books, like the collector's books, which are like, all of the originals, in just two huge booklets.
Yeah, I
And
want those for sure.
yeah, I
It's
have
too
both of
bad they're
those, and they're
mostly in black
beautiful.
and white though, because the
Yeah,
colored ones are so pretty.
yeah. I mean, you could get those on either Amazon or eBay and stuff, but like they're starting to get really, really, um, like
Expensive.
expensive and rare. Yeah.
Oh, in the chat they're calling me Pixie Malfoy. I get it.
Oh, silver blonde hair.
With the dark roots.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, cool. So to the chat, if you have any questions for the Friendly Viking, please leave them in the chat and we'll answer them during the show. Business as usual. Well, I think that kind of covers cosplay progress. Before we talk even more about ElfQuest, I don't think it's that interesting for everyone else. Okay, so let's move into our next segment, which is cosplay news. There hasn't been that much happening in the community that I've been able to catch up on, but we have a couple of news items. Annabella, do you want to do the first one, maybe?
The one with the Norwegian cosplayer challenge.
Oh, right. No, the second one, I mean, then.
Okay. We just want to remind everyone that next weekend, the Oslo Middelalder Festival is going to go off. So I think it's going to be both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's the 27th to the 29th, yeah.
Yes, that's true. So you should check it out. There's always a lot of people and a lot of booths and stuff happening and fun and things.
Yeah.
You know what? I just heard you say boobs.
Boobs. Totally.
There's a lot of boobs and Viking stuff, and you know.
Well, there might be Viking boobs, or you never know.
You know.
Viking booty.
Some bar wenches, they probably have some middle-aged boobs.
You never know.
Yeah.
Also, the next piece of, because I'll do the cosplay challenge last, I think. The next piece of news is that Leon Chiro, the internationally known cosplayer, lost his Facebook pages earlier this week or last week, I think. He was the victim of several haters mass reporting him on Facebook, and Facebook took down both his personal private page and his cosplay page, where he had over 100,000 followers. And according to him, he hadn't posted anything offensive, and the haters were just hating, and he's been trying to get in contact with Facebook, and they're not replying. And apparently this thing has happened to him like 2 or 3 times before in the past. Where he's had to send in his passport and other kinds of ID to just prove to Facebook that he is indeed himself and there's nothing offensive about what he's doing. And so far he hasn't gotten his site back, which is really sad.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Is this, I mean, bad job Facebook, right?
Well,
Bad job
people
haters.
as well.
Yeah. In general. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sad when someone can make a living out of what is their passion and people either get jealous or they just decide to hate you. I don't really know how that works because I can't imagine how a person like that thinks, but why would you feel the need to fuck up for someone else who's just trying to do what they love?
Because you're a bad person.
Yes, because you're a bad person.
You need
Bad
to-
job, trolls.
Yes.
And so, well, we sincerely hope that Leon Chiro will be able to get his pages back because, I mean, 100,000 followers, that is a lot. And I bet you he gets a lot of his income through Facebook.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
besides, I like to watch his work.
yeah, I mean, he's a super talented cosplayer. There's, he makes quality stuff and he works really hard to maintain, the look that he has. I think he trains like 5 times a week or something, so he's a
Yeah,
hard-working dude.
I took a look at the video that you sent me where he like explains the situation and stuff, and just at some random moment he's like, "People think I'm not ripped for shirt, like for real," and then he just pulls up his shirt,
Yeah.
showing up his six-pack. He's like, "Does this look fake?"
Yeah, the hype is real.
Yeah.
So
Those
yeah,
were solid abs. You could break a brick on those.
Yeah, for sure. But he kind of has to look that way to do some of the superhero or game character cosplays that he does.
Yeah. And people said guys don't have anything like any body image to look up to. Ha ha ha.
That is a lie. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, bad job Facebook, bad job trolls, and I hope that Leon Chiro will be able to get his page back. So, I subscribed to him on YouTube after this whole thing, just to show a little bit of support.
Yeah.
So I urge him.
It's much more difficult to kick people off of YouTube, luckily.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, so I mean, you can follow him on Instagram and a lot of other social media platforms too. So if you want to show your support for Leon Chiro, I suggest that you guys go follow him there too. Seems like he deserves it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to some slightly lighter and brighter things. We were all challenged by the Udai Art and Cosplay a while ago to do Norwegian-themed cosplays in, either russedress or bunad or other very Norwegian clothes. And so I've collected some of the pictures of people who have done the challenge since she posted it in social media. So I thought we would share that with you guys.
Exciting.
Yes, this will be fun. Let's see. All right, so this is the very first participant, which is our own Enyassia Cosplay. Did her link in Russahat, which is totally adorable.
Oh, good. Stop it.
Yes. Rirai Art even made fan art out of you after the show, so that was really fun. So you can check out her cosplay page if you want to see the fan art. The next one is Hege Petrogalli, which did her Naruto in a knitted sweater vest.
That's so cool.
That's so awesome. That would change Naruto so drastically. Oh my god, I would love to see that.
Like, see the entire cast in knitted sweaters and, knickerbockers and things like that.
Oh my god, the perfect spin-off. The perfect spin-off.
Yes, we want this. Hege, you can make it happen, can't you? Also, this is Wee from Friendly Cosplay doing her Madame Hooch in her traditional folk costume, the bunad.
I think she did a video of this as well.
She did a video and she posted it on Instagram, and she probably did it on Facebook too. So you guys should definitely check out Friendly Cosplay to see the video. It was very cute. And Wee is a very cool lady too. So Friendly Cosplay deserves all your follows and your love. Let's see. This is Annabella in her Super Mario.
Yeah.
I was planning to do it a bit better than this, but I haven't been feeling well in like 3 weeks now, so it was just spare of the moment, Snapchat drawings.
Well, I mean, at least you made the effort. That's what matters. You got the flag.
Yeah, I even took some pictures. They didn't work out that well. Where I was standing on my porch, and my neighbor was having a Norwegian flag in the background, but the wind didn't blow it the right way, so it looked stupid.
Yeah.
So I tried.
You tried. That's what's important.
I remember, like, when I was Rus, I actually had a Mario and Luigi on my pants for a print, where the two of them were like on a drunken stupor, walking around with like beer bottles in their hands and with rust caps on. And it was hilarious how well Mario and Luigi fit into that setting.
That's cool.
Right. We hopped back a bit. Let's see. Right. So this is me. I did Death in my folk costume.
Ah.
So it was Neil Gaiman's Death from the Sandman series. And it got retweeted by Neil Gaiman, which was super awesome.
No way, really?
Yeah, it did. I was so excited. So I got I think I don't know 380 likes or something on Twitter, which has never happened to me before. I mean, I think maybe the most I've had is 2.
That is so cool.
That is so cool. So thank you, Neil Gaiman. I love you, senpai.
I've also seen that a lot of Norwegian cosplayers have done this, but not as, the Norwegian Cosplay Challenge, but just by themselves. Especially on the Norwegian National Day, there were a lot of cosplayers, with helmets and stuff in their folk costumes.
Yeah.
And I think Torukon also did had participants in the folk. I don't know. It's not called a trade, but
public
it's a parade.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No, they did a whole thing. There were tons of participants in Trondheim that went for Torukon that went in the parade, and that was super cool.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a couple of years now, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Or for a few years, not only a couple.
Yeah, I mean they're one of the big conventions, so I'm not surprised that they've been doing this for a while. So I think we had 1 or 2 more. Yes, this is Ryurai Art who posted the challenge as it is VL in her band uniform. Because I think Ryurai maybe plays in the band, so that's super cute. I think it is VL is anime. And one of her friends also did Nidalee from League of Legends in her blue blårussedrakt, which is a graduation thing we have here in Norway, so it's very traditional.
I actually think that's a really cute picture.
Yeah, it's a really cute picture. It kind of suits the character, I think. So.
I really hope she walked around like that on.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Stave off horny, teenage boys with that spirit, really long.
The most badass Russ out there.
Yes. So good job, everyone who participated and used the hashtag Norwegian Cosplay Challenger. That's how I was able to find you. So if we do this next year, totally, more people should participate. It was super fun.
Yes.
All right. Done sharing this. Okay, well, I think it's probably time to move into the main theme of the show. So maybe Enyassia, do you want to start with a few questions?
Yes. Okay. Friendly Viking, how long have you been cosplaying, and how did you get into cosplay?
Well, I've been cosplaying since 2011, so it's actually 5 years now, which is weird. But I got into cosplay it was actually while I was at US that I got introduced to people that introduced me to cosplay. And they talked about it like this humongous thing where people were making their own costumes, where that's the only way to do it, and where it's really, really cool, and you could show your appreciation to the characters that you really, really loved and stuff. And so I got immediately really inspired, and so I went home and I decided to do Link for my first cosplay. A very standard one, but I went all in from the beginning, and so I had really expensive fabrics that I used, which I shouldn't have done because it didn't turn out that good. And I used leather for all the belts, and I designed a bandolier with a sheath for an actual forged sword that I made for that cosplay with with ivory and redwood in the handle. And I seriously went all out on that thing, and then I got there, showing up in this way too complicated cosplay for I think it was Desugon 6, and I showed up, and it was I was just walking around with a wooden shield and with the sword on my back and stuff, and I'd gone I'd joined the cosplay competition and everything, and when I got to the door, I hadn't heard any rules about swords or about like weapons, and so I got the shield cleared to go through and to have that in there, but I had to stand there for half an hour, like discussing with the guard at the door to come give me the sword when I was going up on stage for him to then like take it back when I got down from stage. And so yeah,
Aw.
it was a chaotic first con, but I cannot forget it for the life of me. I love it, and so I got hooked immediately. I have not forged a sword since that time. It was really it was way too much work for way too little. But it's still in my apartment. I still keep it around, and I still wear it whenever I can for different occasions. And since then, I've upgraded my Link until a Link in his 30s or 40s when he've understood that like armor is smart.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard this rumor too.
yeah, yeah, no. But like I made like a Viking version of Link,
Mm.
which
Yeah, we have some pictures of some of your past cosplays that we thought we
Oh.
would share with the audience.
yeah, sure,
So yeah, we'll just ride right into that before we forget.
yeah.
All right, let's see. Screen share again then. There we go. So this is one I think is super cute because it's a pirate from a Norwegian children's show called Kaptein Sabeltann, and you're his second in command, Langemann.
Yep.
I'm not sure who took this photo. Didn't
This
say.
was Spook's photography.
Spook's photography.
Spook's photography took this, and like I really enjoy being Langemann, because like both because I have the fuzzy teddy in as my Kaptein Sabeltann as my
Do you
captain.
guys study together? Because I know he studies some arts and crafts things too.
Yeah, we do. We're in the same class,
Yeah.
so like that's where we got to know each other, and after that we've become the tightest bromance of all time.
Super cosplay team.
We're a cosplay team, yeah. And so it's really fun. And so with Longman, with Langemann, it's really fun walking around with him with that. But I have one gripe with it, and it's there is nothing in between the hat and the shoulders.
No,
Nothing.
it's kind of empty.
Yeah, and so like I feel like my head is just turned into a cylinder at that point because shoulders down, that's fine, and the face is fine, but there's just an empty space where there should be something at the shoulders, and that bugs me so much.
Do you have to shave every time you put this on, or was this pre-beard?
Well, I should shave for every time I do this, but I don't. And so there are plenty of pictures of me being Langemann with the beard. And so yeah.
But my husband also refuses to shave for cosplays anymore because he thinks it makes him look too young, and he just nope, not happening.
Yeah, actually, I am going to remove this beard in just a couple of days, actually, because I'm going to be helping my girlfriend with project that she has at school, an exam, where she needs an Edward Scissorhands.
Aww.
And I'm her model for that, and so I have to remove all of this to have scars on my chin and like on my lips and stuff.
Yeah,
But
no
to
facial
be-
hair.
To be Edward Scissorhands for one day, I think that it's worth it because
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. And like right after that, at some point, I'm going to have a head cast, and for that, I can't have a beard then
No.
either. And so, just
You wouldn't
it's
be able
going
to get
away
out of your
anyway. So I
cast.
can just as well be Edward Scissorhands before I take it all away.
Yeah,
Or
why
not before. Yeah, no, before I take the head cast anyway.
Well, looking forward to see pictures of that. For sure.
Me too.
Okay, moving on. This is your Gandalf, which you wore to Arthicon this year, where we met you for the first time, I think.
Yes.
And you won the cosplay contest, so congratulations.
I did, and I was not expecting that at all. And so, like, when the judges were talking up on stage, I was like, when I understood that they were like talking about me, I was like sinking further and further down into my hat. That hat, actually, it's right behind me. But yeah, I was just shrinking down because of that. Oh god, no.
I have to go up there.
Yeah, and so when I was up there, I had no idea what to do. accepted everything. It was like, thank you, and like we're standing there with a trophy in one hand and with a small version of like a Gandalf staff in the other, and like, what do I do now? I bow and thank you, I guess.
So had you ever won a cosplay contest before? Yeah, you have actually.
I've gotten third place with the
That's right.
Link cosplay for GigaCon.
Yeah, but your Gandalf is so cool. I mean, the staff lights up, and you have a place to hide your pipe in there, and
Yeah.
no
No,
wonder
I
you
worked.
won with this.
You
Yeah,
have
I
a
worked
great
really, really hard on that.
you have a great voice for Gandalf as
Yeah.
well. You sound like a wizard while you're in that cosplay.
Well,
And,
thank you a lot.
it's very convincing, and that's really cool. I really enjoy cosplayer who lives their characters and just becomes, their character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that you won actually because your performance gave me the chills.
Yeah. Just
It
like
was
you
very good.
shall not pass. Like,
Yeah, so
I had to. It was like, it was go cliche or go home.
Yeah, the temptation was too great.
Yes, it was. Frodo managed to tempt me.
And this is the Viking link that you talked about earlier.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And you went with third place with this at GigaCon, I think?
Yep,
Yes.
I did.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, and you see the sword there is 1 meter 90 centimeters.
Shit, it's bigger than I am.
It's absolutely humongous. And I have no idea how to place it in my house, so I just have it on top of my my closet, and like the shield and stuff is just also stuffed up there with a lot of other shit that I cannot for the life of me understand where I'm gonna put at all.
That sword is 40 centimeters taller than Enyassia, and 30 centimeters taller than I am.
Yeah.
That is a huge fucking sword.
Yeah, and one of the next swords that I'm planning on making, like the Chaos Eater from Darksiders, it's not going to happen immediately, but I'm planning on doing it, and that's 1 meter. No, that's 2 meters 30 centimeters.
Wow. How are you going to carry that around? It seems like a lot of work.
Yes. I think is the answer to that. Yes. So I have no idea. I'm just gonna try whatever possible way I can to lift those things.
Yeah. But how did you come up with this whole Viking link idea?
Well, it was just me looking around at like some things. I was in between cosplays. I didn't really know what to do, and I went to a flea market, and there was this huge suitcase, like this leather suitcase, in green that I was just looking at for the longest time, and like big, like the wheels in my head were turning slowly, and I would ask 4 different people of the price, and unfortunately they all had the same price. But like eventually I just thought to myself, I have to have this, and so I went up to my then apartment and started tearing it apart. And I didn't know what I was going to use it for anyway, and so I was like thinking, well, I could try to make an armor out of this. And then I started like thinking about, okay, I can use scale mail, I can use this for the inside. This is the structure of it, and then halfway into it, I was like, okay, I need another one of these, and so I went hunting for another suitcase of the same size to get more scales. And inside that case, it hadn't been opened like since it had been bought by the flea market people, and so inside was those furs that you see around the shoulders.
Huh.
And that was just lucky coincidence. And then when it was done, I was like, I could make a helmet out of this as well. And then suddenly
it just started with a suitcase.
Yeah, and suddenly I'd made a helmet and stuff, and then I was thinking, well, this is starting to look like a tunic. Who has a green tunic? Link has a green tunic. I already have the bandolier, and I have the belt with Zelda theme on it, and I need to make the Hylian shield again anyway, because the last version wasn't up to par. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just make Link 3040.
Yeah, sure, why not? Well,
I
it
came
worked
up with
out
a
for you in
backstory
the
for it.
end, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's basically the story behind it. It's a long ass story, but yeah.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
you sent parts of this story into our giveaway contest earlier last year as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yes,
I
I think
think
so
I did.
too.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what I thought was really funny. This is the king from Adventure Time.
The Ice
Yes,
King, yeah.
I love him. He's
Yes.
probably my second favorite character after Lemon Grab. Lemon Grab's the best.
Yeah, Lemon Grabs is freaking amazing. But like, I love this character because this is the Ice King when he's becoming the Ice King, because the Ice King is really like 1,000 years old, while the world that you see in Adventure Time is maybe 200 years old. And so this is the process where he goes from being human and like being corrupted by the crown into being the Ice King. And so he's slowly losing his mind and stuff, and his hair is getting gray, and his beard is growing out, and yeah.
Cool.
So
Seems
so
like
I
you have a
absolutely
backstory
love
for all of your cosplays. It's very fun.
If there's no backstory, it's not interesting.
No,
I
this is true.
I'm just
All right.
really up for
We
stories and
just
stuff.
have to move along. I mean, we only
Of
have
course,
half an
of
hour
course.
left.
So many
Do not let me ramble.
So this is you at Arthicon, I think, selling some of your beautiful leatherwork items. You are so talented.
Thank you. I've worked a lot. I've worked a lot on it.
So this is one of the things we'll be talking a lot more about later in the show, but I thought I would just show some pictures up close of the things that you've made. These are a lot of your belts. Now, have you made the buckles too, or are they
I have not
ordered,
made. I have not made the buckles too. I've picked them up in different places, mostly at Skinnloven, near Hønefoss, here in Norway. Some from Sehemsen in Oslo, and others I've either gotten from friends or just found at flea markets with crappy belts already stamped on them that I've thought that like, you deserve a better life than this plastic belt. And so I've made some of that as well. But
Belt
yeah,
buckle
most of them
rescue.
belt buckle rescue, yeah. So if anyone has any belts that they either want to throw away or that they just have the belt buckle and don't know what to use it for, throw it in my direction. I'll
Yes.
probably hit it with my head and then grab it and make something out of it.
Yes, do this. All right, this is a bracer that you've made,
Yes.
and is this braided, or have you actually engraved the details into a piece of leather?
I have not braided this, but it does look like it because
Yeah.
I've used one of these tools that I have here, which are metal tools that first you wet the leather and then you use these to stamp out different textures on the leather. And so some of these are actually braids that you can use from before. So this one, I think, is the one that I used on that. So I just lay
Clever.
them out one after the other and stamp it out, and then in the next one I just put it a little to the side of the ones that I've already made, and then just continue along. And that makes this pattern, and it's really, really impressive looking, but not necessarily that impressive.
Cool.
And so yeah.
Easier than I thought. It would have been murder to etch in every single one of those lines by hand.
Yes.
Right. So that's the end of the slideshow. So we can get back to some of our questions. Enyassia, question 2.
Yes. Okay. What cosplay of yours are you the most pleased with?
I think the one that I'm most pleased with would be the Link cosplay, just because it's a design that I came up with myself, and it's it's something that I really used a lot of time on, and it was a real passion project, and because of the sword and the shield and stuff, they make you feel so powerful, it's ridiculous.
I can
That
imagine
cat of
that.
yours is interesting.
By the way, the chat room is going a little crazy. Ida is going, "Oh my God, Edward Scissorhands!" So she is super excited.
Mhm.
they're super impressed by your armor as well.
Yeah, they want to try to make armor, and they think you're really skilled. It's like witchcraft. Someone is writing.
Yeah, no, I sold my soul a long time ago for the leatherworking, you know. So
So yeah, just had to mention that there's a lot of love from the forum, and they say we love long episodes. So if we go
Yeah.
over the time, they're happy. Please just punch.
no, that's nice.
Okay, Annabella, do you want to do question 3 maybe?
Yeah. What do you find the most difficult part of cosplay projects? You know, is it sewing, pattern making, wig styling, or something else?
Finding the money.
Yeah.
Definitely finding the money, because
Good
like all
answer,
of the
sir.
all of the practical things, like there's always some way of figuring out how to do things, and I always try to encourage myself to do things that I don't already know how to do. For example, one of the latest things now is wig styling. I'm gonna try some of that. For one of my next cosplays, which is a male version of Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna try to style the hair in weird ways. But especially like finding the money when you're a student and you have to prioritize different things, it's difficult, and especially when I deal with leather, the expensivest of the expensives. It's difficult at times, and yeah, it always there's always things that you struggle with the practical things, but if you don't have the money to do the practical things, it's just null and
Yeah,
void.
exactly. You can't learn new stuff without materials.
No.
I think we can all agree that the struggle is real money-wise.
Mm.
Too bad you just can't go out and smash some barrels and find gems.
Yes, exactly. Like we could do.
Well, that's a good idea, actually.
Not that many barrels in Oslo either, last time I checked.
Unfortunately.
Uh,
Unfortunately.
A lack of barrels and crates.
You've got a wedding proposal in the chat, dear sir.
What?
Yes. The Friendly Viking, marry me, you cute-ass Viking. I need some leather knowledges.
I am taken, I am sorry.
Yes.
I am
He's
taken
busy.
by the lady that's laying on her bed right over there. Love you. Apparently I have a wedding proposal. Yeah.
But it's very cute, Ida. I'm sure you appreciate the thought.
I appreciate the thought, yes. So thank you.
Okay. But question 4. It seems like leatherworking is your specialty. Is that true to say?
Yes, yes it is. And I've been doing this from since 2007, and so yeah, I've acquired a lot of different knowledges with leather. And one thing that's annoying in Norwegian is that leather is leather in English means two things in Norwegian. You have skin and you have leather, which is leather is rigid while skin is loose and worked with and stretchy and a lot of times thin. And so trying to explain that to people in Norwegian is just as difficult as anything else. Trying to explain it in English is almost impossible. So if you're wondering anything with leather and stuff, just send me a message through my page anyway.
Yeah. Cool. Because he is not difficult to talk to. It's very easy.
No.
Yeah.
I tend to babble.
Scary.
Huh?
I tend to babble.
Sorry. Yes, he battles. And I said, he's so nice, it's scary.
All right. Do you want to do question 5, Enyassia?
Yes, of course. If someone were to be interested in taking up leatherworking, where would you recommend that they start?
I would recommend them starting looking at their bank accounts and thinking very thoroughly, would I like to damage myself in this way before they actually start? And then when they figure out that, yes, I want to do this stupid thing, they could start by getting one of these. Just a regular knife, a really sharp knife to just start with. You can do a lot with just a knife. I have, for example, this bracelet I made almost entirely with that knife. I didn't even use a rounder on the edges. I just used the knife and just sat there for a long, long time, like just filing away at this. Um, and like you can make a lot of cool stuff just with a knife. And then again, for like maybe tying up things or yeah, or just advancing, you could get one of these, a hole punch, and it has a lot of different sizes of holes in this, which you can rotate and get different size holes. That's good for either things like this, where you have a screw, which you can remove, clamp it on to your wrist, and then screw it back in. Or if you have something with like the bracelet that you showed with a pattern on it, with the slanted pattern, that I just have a thread on the other side, which I've just used the hole punch for. Which, yeah, like those things, if you have a knife and if you have a hole punch, you can do so much. If you want to go even further, like for example, if you want an easier way of cutting lines that you've previously drawn in leather or in chin, you have this, like a real leather scissor. This has saved my life so many times. And then, other than that, there's the more specific things. You have, like, for example, a rounder, which you use on the side of the leather to round the edges so that it'll go more smoothly on your hands, so that it won't scratch you up too much. You have the decorative things, which are, for example, this, which draws lines on the edges. Like, this is just a plain belt without the line tool. And this, for example, is one with using the line tool and with using different stamps within it to try to get the texture in the middle.
Mm.
And yeah, the stamps. If you've started doing things with the stamps, you will not be able to stop because it's hilarious and it's so fun and it's so like when you have different different images that you want to create on the leather, you could just draw it out with blue paper or with just a pencil, and then carve it out after that with an engraving tool, and then stamp in textures, and it's going to look impressive, and even more impressive the more hours that you put into it.
Right. So I imagine it's a very rewarding hobby, just like cosplay.
Yes, it is, and it's fantastic gifts. Like I think I've made 6 or 7 belts that I've given out to friends and family and stuff. And like the belt that I usually wear, I made in 2007, and I'm still using it, and it still looks fantastic, and it's not going to break in 10 years still. And so, like, that compared to something that you buy in a store, which they say is leather, but is really the leather, it's the meat inside of the leather without the top coat, which is the skin. The skin has been replaced with plastic, and that makes it crack and it makes it brittle, and it just breaks a lot easier. And so if you have a chance to make your own belt or to buy a real leather belt, it's a really, really good investment because you're doing it once instead of like having to buy belt after belt after belt from the store and from places that tell you like this is what's trendy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically raw materials are a bit costly, but you'll save money on it in the long run.
Yes.
And the Friendly Viking has been fit.
All right, let's move on to the next question, which is question 7. Annabella, do you want to take it?
Where can we buy these tools? Or
Yeah.
where can you buy leather, and what does it cost in general?
I'm not going to tell you the cost here because I don't really know exactly for everything, and it's different for the sizes of the leathers and the things. I like to buy the thickest leathers possible because those are, in my opinion, easier to carve designs into and um, to have fun with. But you have 3 places around Oslo at least which can grant you these things. You have Sehemsen in Oslo, which has a lot of materials. That they have leather and they have shin and they have furs and yeah, a lot of those things, and they specialize in those things, and they're really, really good at that. They have a few tools as well, and a few belt buckles and conchos and stuff like that. But if I'm honest, they're not that good at getting people into it. They're there for the people that already know what to get. Um, and the place that you should go if you're totally new and want some clues on how to start, it's Skinnloven near Hønefoss. They have a lot of tools, a lot of materials. And they'll help you find, for example, a starter kit. They'll help you do exactly what it is you want to do. You can tell them about your project, and they'll help you find what exactly you need for that project. And they're really, really good with that. And they have a lot of colors. They have a lot of overcoats to protect the colors after you put them on. And a lot of very, very interesting tools and my favorite shelf, which is the one with all of the belt buckles and stuff. And yeah, and then there's also a place in Lillestrøm, which is called what was that again? I'll get back to you if I remember that one.
Yeah.
But that's more for horse harnesses and with also special tools. And they're also a bit good at figuring out what you need and then helping you find what it is you want to start with.
And probably a lot of people watching are thinking that Hønefoss sounds like a long way to go to get some leather and supplies, but make a day of it out of it. You know, take the bus or drive with a few friends.
Road trip! Yay!
Yeah, road trip! Yes, it'll be well worth it, I think.
Yeah.
We also have a question from the chat.
Yes, we do.
Celia is wondering what's the difference with working with leather and pleather?
The false leather,
Yes.
like sky. The difference is leather and shin breathes, and they have the quality of them are a lot better than with fall leather or like sky. And like I have used it in the past. Like the armor that you see, the undercoat of that is leather, but the outer coat is actually sky. A lot of people are really surprised by that, but that's plastic and not real leather at all. But the difference, mostly, it's the quality, and also working in it, because you can't necessarily use a machine to do this. You have to hand sew them and stuff. And in Sky, it's not that easy getting prints and getting designs on it. And with Sky, you normally have it so that you can't really color it too much, which is also different to regular leather or untreated leather, I should say. And so yeah,
because it stretches more too, the plastic leather.
Yeah, it often has a lot of stretch in it, and yeah, I don't prefer it. obviously because I'm the leather guy. But yeah, no, I would recommend to use leather if you have the chance to use leather, and if you if you feel like doing that damage to your wallet. Um, Also, another thing that I love about leather is that if you make a mistake, that mistake is made and you can't fix it. And I absolutely love that about leather because, like, you can, in that case, you can incorporate it into the belt, or it's just character.
Hmm.
You could just say like, nope, that happened and it's staying on there, or you could just start the whole thing over again and make something completely like you can make the whole thing back from scratch. But if you make a mistake, that mistake will stay, and
I
I
know.
love it. You've tried it already?
Strict learning
Yes.
curve, I guess.
A strict
That's
learning curve, yeah.
Mm.
But I actually really like that about leather. It's one of the reasons why I love it so much because it's so unforgiving that you have to get good to actually get anywhere with it.
I suppose you don't rush through a leather project the same you can rush through other things.
No, well you can, you can, you shouldn't, but you can.
Exactly.
I've done that a few times before, but the pre-mentioned mistakes will then pile up.
Mm.
So what I'm getting from this is that if you're a newbie and just starting working with leather, you should start with smaller projects so you don't mess up, you know. If you're
Yes.
making a jacket and you mess up the last part and then you have to start all over again,
Yeah.
that
Do
would suck.
not make a jacket.
No.
That said, make a jacket, but do not make a jacket.
Not as your first project, at least. Start with a wristband or something, just to
Start with a
practice.
wristband or a belt or something that isn't way too complicated, and like for example, start with something like this, where you have a belt buckle to sew on, and you can make the slider which holds the rest of your belt on top of that, and just draw out something so simple as this. Just
Mm.
nothing fancy. Punch the holes in the end. The middle one should be the one that you use most regularly, so that you have places to grow in both directions. And that's basically it. Just try it out, and if you fail, then you've failed once, and you can fail spectacularly again.
Yes, exactly. Or get better. It all
Or
depends.
get better. That's a chance too.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah.
Ida says that her Beast cosplay is fake leather because she's poor, and she has to sew in it every time she wears it. Has disgusted noise. So
What is
yeah.
that? I'm wondering then if it's a beast. I don't know what beast that's talking about. If it's the X-Men beast, the blue one,
Mm.
or if it's the beast from Beauty and the Beast, because that sounds more like fur.
Yeah.
Because
I
fake
don't
fur
know.
and fake leather are two very different things.
You'll have to tell us, Ida, which kind of beast is it?
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, well, you've kind of answered some of our questions. Like you said, that leather should be hand sewn. It's not very likely that you'll use a machine on it.
No. I mean, you can, but it has to be a very, very powerful machine. And if you have if you have shin, then you can. But you have to have leather needles
Yeah.
for that, and yeah, and
Yeah,
also
or else they'll break.
yeah,
I've tried it.
Yeah,
and
I've broken
needles
my
break
sewing
easily.
needles on fake leather as well. So.
Ida
Yeah.
says that her beast is from an anime, so maybe it's like a tight leather suit or something. I'm not
Mhm.
sure.
I see.
But yeah, it would probably require some refitting every time you wear it if it stretches and gets hot and stuff.
Possibly, yeah.
Mm.
If it's false leather, it tends to keep the same. It tends to keep the same size. That with leather as well. Like leather shapes itself to you,
Mm.
and so like a leather belt, for example, if you use it for a long time, it's gonna feel more and more attuned to you because it stretches out or shapes in for.
Yeah, it's kind of like
how
shoes.
you're
They're
using it.
uncomfortable as shit the first time you wear them, but you know,
Yeah.
the next few times will get better because it molds to your foot.
Yeah.
It's also like that with the scissors. I'm a hairdresser and I do not let anyone use my scissors because, they're fit to my hand and no one else's. So
Mm.
I approve. I approve.
Yes. Right. So, do you like color or treat your own leathers? Do you just buy like very light leather and then tint it yourself, or?
I use it. I buy a whole, like a whole skin of untreated leather, uncolored leather, like this, and then I use different colors on it. You can use acrylics. You can use spirit-based colorings. I really like this one though. It's a set of colors called Gel Antique. And this one is saddle tan, which can be used for absolutely anything. It's a really, really beautiful color. Um, it is what I used on this. And these are the same leather.
Hmm.
And so like you see the difference. And yes, I like to use I like to color them myself because then I have more control and then I can see what color it will fit after I've finished it,
Yeah.
which is really handy. If you have, for example, an already colored leather that you're going to use, and then you make a pattern on it that you've like thought out from on before, it's going to look good, but it could have looked better if you had, say, that other color that you have on your shelf. Um, and so, yeah, I just like doing that after I'm done with everything else, and then I start coloring.
Hmm. That's probably a good idea, so everything gets the same color. Is it easy to get the color all smooth and even, or is that a technique as well?
That's also technique. That's training. Just try, fail, 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 and then succeed, finally, and then fail again. So it's really like I've used so long trying to get good at coloring it with the Galantique. It's really easy because it's both coloring and um, a sort of not shoe polish, but a polish, a leather polish puts that puts darker colors in the contours and down in the deeper parts of the leather by itself. And so the only thing that you really have to make sure is that all the flat surfaces are uniform. And it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot quicker. It's a bit cheaty, but I'm inclined to be fine with that.
That's
Uh,
okay. I
yeah,
mean,
I
life
know how to
happens.
do it properly. I can cheat.
Yeah, because you have to do that. That's how everything works out. You have to know
Yeah.
how to do things properly first, and then you can experiment.
Yeah,
Mm.
walk
Very
before
good
you
advice.
run.
Cecilia wants to know, is a purple leather vest easy to make?
Oh,
You try and tell me.
He hasn't tried.
No, I haven't tried. I've just made a leather vest for my cosplay now for Bear Claw. And I mean, if you sew a mock-up first and then use that pattern to trace it out on leather, then sure. Um, but expect a really big payload when you have to buy the materials and when you have to buy the actual leather that you need. I'm sorry. Um, and yeah, that's basically all I can tell you. Like, try it on a mock-up first, and just yeah, regular fabrics, and then try to transfer it over to leather after that if you find it necessary.
I am a firm believer in the mock-up. It's always a good
Yeah.
idea to make
Yes.
a mock-up.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, which question are we on now? I guess question 10. Annabella, do you want to do it?
Yeah. What is embossing, and how do you emboss a piece of leather?
Embossing is what you do when you make patterns and designs on your belts or on your leather pieces. And what you use then is different tools. You can either push it out of the leather without cutting it, where you use tools like this, where you just basically use your thumb on the wet leather and just push so that you have so that you get peaks and
Yeah, you get
different
raised
designs that
edges,
way.
basically.
Raised edges, yeah.
Mm.
And you have different tools to make that and to make different shapes of that. Or you could use other things such as these beauties. I just bought a few. I have like 50 of these. Which are different tools where you can either use preset um, designs on them, such as these, which this one is mostly for edges and for ending things or for corners, and then this is for general patterning, where you can use those right next to each other, as I explained for the bracelets. Then you have the different texture texture irons, which is more like the things that I usually do, which is, for example, this, where you get a bubble pattern or sort of scales in the background of what you're making. You have different sizes of these as well, but it's the big one, so I thought that would look best. And then you have, for example, spikes. For the background, you have flat ones, you have spikes, you have swirly patterns, you have sharper edges. A lot of things that you can use for that.
But do you use them on wet leather?
Yes.
Not dry leather.
Wet leather is always how you use it. Like you always wet the leather and then let it sit for maybe 20 seconds, and then you can start working on it. But it also depends on what type of leather you have. Like, what I used for this is something called in Norwegian råran, which has which has a core with more raw skin, which contracts when it gets wet. So you make it wet, it swells a little bit, you sew it into place, like I've done here, and then you slip it onto the thing that you want it to shrink around, and then it starts clamping onto it. And this has been drying for 3 days. And I've embossed the patterns. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an edge there which I've just pushed out with tools similar to these ones. And then just let it shrink into place, and just made sure that this did not leave this sheath for a long time.
That's crazy impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one question though.
Yes.
And that is, are you planning on having any workshops at any conventions in the future?
I would want to, yeah. I haven't, right now I don't have any on my schedule, but I would like to, and I'm always up for questions on my Facebook page. So if anyone wonders anything with leatherwork, just send me a message and I'll reply whenever I can. But yeah, the one I held at Artacon went fairly well, and so, or at least in my opinion, and I would like to do that again because, I'm going to be a teacher, so this is going to be what I do anyway. So why not teach it to people?
Exactly. I would love to see a panel or a workshop of this at DestroCon or one of the bigger cons, because this is a craft that not very many people know how it works.
No, it's a dying art, and I would like to see it flourish again. I'd like to see it more in the hands of everyone and in the children of today. That would be fantastic.
Well, hopefully we have some new, conversions today. Maybe some of our viewers will be inclined to pick up leatherworking. You never know.
That would be really, really nice. Send me pictures of what you make, please. I would love to see that.
Do this. It'll make him happy. Okay, so we've kind of answered question 11, so I think we can start on question 12. Enyassia, do you want to do it?
Yes. Okay. The three of us are planning to do Link cosplays based on the Ocarina of Time adult Link design. Do you have any good suggestions as how we might make the belts, gloves, or boots? What kind of materials do you recommend, and what kind of tools do we need?
Well, for the gloves, you can use thin leather like shin, and you can ask around at the places that I've already mentioned for leather, like for glove leather, and for different types of things like that. For the belts, you can you can ask me. I'm not going to haul out the time too much for this. I've already explained short how you make the belts, and so you can do that. And of course, as I've said, just ask me. The boots, do not make boots.
Make boot covers.
Boot
Yes,
covers.
either boot covers or buy them, because I like my last exam last year, my practical exam, I spent that making boots, like all from scratch, with like a shoemaker helping me with like different steps and stuff. And I spent 6 weeks learning how to make it. And when I was done, like I have amazing boots now that work perfectly and that are absolutely gorgeous. But to be honest, it's like I do not want to go through that again anytime soon because my God, that was really, really difficult.
Tedious.
Like I made simple versions for my bear claw costume now, and like making them like this really, really quickly and with a little bit different materials that weren't that expensive and a little bit easier to work with is a dream compared to actually making boots the way that they're supposed to. So if you can buy them, then buy them, please. And if you decide to make them, show me after.
Okay, we will try.
I don't think boots is the first thing I will throw myself out on. I think
No.
belts.
For
Belts
sure.
are the way to go.
I have the
Yeah.
buckles. I just need the leather.
Mm.
But his bandolier is kind of tricky to me because it's kind of padded in places, and also it doesn't have a counterweight strap. So I'm
No,
a little bit. I don't really know how to construct that. To
No,
make the sword
if you
be able
want,
to-
if you want, I can lend you mine so that you can see some of the patterns that I've made on it, and like just see how I did it basically. Um, because like I spent a long time trying to figure out how to do that, but in short, I just made it a part of the bandolier to stick to the belt that you have around your waist, and so there's a loop on the bandolier that you can just stick the middle belt through and then wear it that way.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Um,
good idea. I also thought about maybe padding or putting like heavy objects in the front in the padded areas
mhm.
to outweigh the
The
sword.
smaller belts going across and under his arm is actually a lot helping with that
Yeah.
stabilization problem, because when you're wearing all of it and if it's actually fitting to you, it doesn't really move around that much.
No. But he
Especially
doesn't
since you
have that
have
strap in the Ocarina of Time, so I'm considering just, screw that design. I'm putting a strap there anyway.
yeah, like it works. Pixels,
Yeah, pixels.
It's just pixels. You can use your creative imagination.
Yeah. Right.
There are someone here in the chat who wants you to teach at Edward Munch, if that's a school. I don't know.
She might
Well,
be
I
there
would-
next year. She wants you as her teacher.
Yeah.
Yay! I am wanted as a teacher.
Yes,
My
you
schooling
are.
has not been in vain.
And she also wants to know what grades would you like to teach?
To be honest, I would like to teach at Folkehøyskole, which is something we have in Norway, which you go to a school for 1 year and learn something very specific for that year, and you live at the school, and then afterwards you go away, and I get new students apparently. But I really want to teach that because it's yeah, just after the obligatory school system, which makes the students a little bit older and a little bit more mature, so that they can learn something that's a little bit more it's a little bit more heavy and advanced. And so, like, that would be the most interesting for me, and it would be the most interesting for them.
Right. Yeah.
If not that, then older students in the regular school system.
Rai Art, which is one of our regular viewers, says that she went to one and she loved it. So, and there are a lot of cosplay lines that have opened up in the past few years, so you can study cosplay. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
That's like so unfair.
Yeah, so unfair. We were born too early.
I agree. Oh man, no, that would be fantastic. But for those of you who don't go into cosplay schools like that, or lines in those sorts of places, you could try Romerike Folkehøgskole with their costume line, because when I went there, I knew a lot of the people working or be attending the costume line there, and a lot of them were cosplayers, and so they worked both with the school things and with their cosplay after hours, and they were really, really happy. And and Romerike is a fantastic school anyway. So pro tip.
Yes, pro tip. And often the schools cooperate with cosplay photographers or other cosplayers who come in and give panels and workshops or photo shoots and things like that. So you get to meet cosplayers from the community, and that's cool. Yeah, Ryurai says she wanted to do a cosplay year, but her mom wouldn't let her, so she studied animation and went to Japan.
Oh.
Not bad. That sounds really cool, too.
Yeah, really, really cool. I just don't get that correlation where the mom doesn't want her to do cosplay in Norway, but she wants her to
fly to Japan.
Japan with animation. But both of them are cool, but I just don't get that mindset.
I think the Japan trip was just for a week or something, so it wasn't for a whole year.
But
that makes a little more sense then. But,
but still, I don't understand why an animation is better than cosplay.
No,
because cosplay is awesome too. It's a growing thing.
And you learn so many skills.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's two different types of crafts. But
For sure.
they're very different. One is computerized and one is practical. But
But yeah, of course, animation is probably easier to make a living off if you because there's actual jobs, actual companies hiring you for that out there. It's far harder to be a freelance cosplayer.
Yeah.
But ask yourself this: what would be more handy in a zombie
apocalypse, and animation or cosplay? I would have to say cosplay. Yes.
Depends if 3D animation can be like on the stages and stuff.
Well,
it could be like distractions for the zombies.
Yeah.
Animations of the people running away. Follow them, not us.
At least with cosplay, you learn how to make your own armor, and you need that.
Yes.
That is true. That is true.
Chainmail for the win, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, we have to move on because we are so over time.
I'm sorry, I ramble.
Oh, it's okay. We're used to it by now. We go over time a lot.
Our viewers love it, so.
So yeah. So sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the questions we had. And if we have anything more, we can just ask you later.
Of course.
But let's go into our last segment of the night, which is geekery. So, have we watched or played or read or listened to anything interesting during the past week that we want to share with the viewers?
Yeah.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, you have seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not gonna spoil it. But it's good.
That's all we need to know.
Yes.
Yes, because we should not steal feels.
No.
Is it weird that I still find James McAvoy cute, even though he's, totally bald and old looking in that movie?
No.
No, he's super
No.
cute. I love James McAvoy. One of my secret crushes. Well, not so secret anymore, but...
One of
Okay,
your
so you
secret
can recommend
crushes.
the X-Men. That's good.
Yes.
they're ready in the chat. Oh, no spoilers! Now let's talk X-Men. Don't spoil feelings.
Okay, so
Yeah.
from the beginning to the end, this is what happened.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do it. We've had a problem with me spoiling things in the past,
Oh.
unfortunately. So, all right, Annabella, have you done anything interesting?
I have been watching a lot of TV series, but I haven't really watched them. They've been going on in the background while I've been sleeping, so, you know. And I have played some Witcher 3 on my PlayStation.
I love that game.
Yeah, I'm finding it a bit hard with the open world thing because there are monsters and things that's so much more higher level than me. So I have to turn around and go other ways and spend time going a path that leads to nothing. So I don't like that, but but it's a good game. I just have to get the hang of it because it's a lot of stuff to.
I mean, the storyline is fantastic, so it's worth playing through it just for the story for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. It's just that stuff takes time. They use a lot of time just talking and writing everywhere. And
I mean, you can spend more than 200 hours playing that game for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to, get a little bit more into the game. Then I think I would like it a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Probably. You just need to get used to it.
Yes.
Enyassia, how about you?
Well, I've been playing computer games, and I have been watching Enyassia and Game of Thrones. And we played yesterday and on Friday Pathfinder. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, there was so much fun. So many feels.
Oh, all the feels, and my character changed.
Yeah, your character switched its race and its alignment in one session. That is pretty major when you're role-playing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, shit went down, and we were in the Underdark at level 6. That is not a game.
That's not a game, that's walkover.
Yeah. From the Underdark side, so to say. No, it was so much fun. And every time we get the DM, inebriated, he's, more generous with us as players. So that's always fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of XP. I'm leveling up already for the next session, so 2 levels in just one session.
And also, we got loot for like the first time in like 4 sessions or something. It was finally running out of money here.
It's just because your characters doesn't loot things. I'm the only one who's sneaky enough to steal.
Yes, but you're a rogue. You kind of have to steal. It's in your character description.
Yeah, and I've been away for 2 sessions, and they've managed to get spied on and attacked, and I'm like, guys, if you get spied on, you have to follow. You have to follow up this thing. You
do something.
Do something about it. Oh no,
this is why you need me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. We're kind of hopeless without her. Okay, well, I've been listening to audiobooks again. I've had to take a break because I couldn't afford my Audible subscription, but I'm trying out Scribd.com, which is a service that for like $9 a month you get free access to audiobooks, comics, and ebooks. And I think it's really practical, so I might actually have to start subscribing on a regular basis to that because I really love audiobooks. You can just listen to it while you're crafting, or you can listen to it while you clean, because I hate cleaning, so it makes it so much more, livable. So I can't recommend that enough. So I've been listening to The Magicians by Lev Grossman, which is kind of Harry Potter if Harry Potter was a horny 17-year-old with identity issues.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah, maybe. But this is darker. I mean, it has like hints at homosexuality and sexual identity and finding yourself, and it's just a little bit darker.
That's
It's interesting.
darker.
Mm.
That's what you think it might
Homosexuality.
be. That's dark.
But so I'm not going to spoil anything too much, but it's interesting. It's not very action packed. It's not the same kind of fairy tale adventure kind of world that Harry Potter is. But it might fill that gap that you have after Harry Potter if you want something that has to do with a magical school in a separate world and things like that.
Yeah. Also, the name of the wind and the wise man's sphere is the same
Yes.
in those tracks. So for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, read The Wise Man's Sphere and the
By
Name of the
Patrick
Wind.
Rothfuss.
Yes.
Such a good book.
They are best. They are best things.
It's very, very poetic, and it's the first time you'll ever read 3 or 4 pages about a guy playing on 2 strings on a guitar where you won't be bored.
Yes.
Yes, it's fantastic. I'm actually going to do a book show later in a couple of days or a couple of weeks where I recommend different kinds of fantasy books for different kinds of people. So hopefully that'll be cool and something people are interested in.
Yeah. Check it out.
Okay, well, I think we should wrap up the show for now because we are 20 minutes over time.
Woo!
Woohoo! New record. Okay, so thank you so much for coming.
No problem. I would like to come again and make you wait 20 minutes more.
We would love to have you back again.
Yes, it will. It's been a delight. You're a very good talker, and it's very fun to talk to you.
Thank you.
So if people want to find you on Facebook, they can just type in the Friendly Viking, and your profile will pop up.
Hopefully, yes.
Yes, at least they do when I do it.
Hmm.
So go check him out, like him on Facebook if you don't already do that, because it's totally worth it. And people can find us at the CosCast on Facebook, and on YouTube you can find us at the CosCast Show. And we're also on Instagram, so follow us there. And individually you can find us at Pixiedust, Annabella, and Enyassia Cosplay.
Oh, guys, chat says that
Aw.
next time Teddy is here, make it 2 hours instead of 1.5, and Eva says that she won't give up on the marriage proposal.
Thank you, guys. We love you too. You're super sweet. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back next Sunday. I'm not sure what the theme of the episode will be, but we'll let you know. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.